Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Sayyida Mashria Fatma, your host for today's session of Youth Leadership Summit. It's an initiative of Supreme Council Global Youth Association, Punjab Supreme Council Global Youth Association. So here we're going to discuss all about youth empowerment and our flaw lines कि हम कहाँ lag कर रहे हैं और हमें किन areas पे work करने की ज़रूरत है. We have so many, wonderful guests who are on board with us. I will introduce them one by one. Let me introduce my first guest for the session, Mr. Dr. Atikur Rahman. He's a PhD in American Studies. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I'm very bad at pronunciation. So he's a PhD in American Studies. He has done his MPhil in Defense and Strategic Studies from Quaid-e-Azam University. So we welcome you here, sir, with us. I hope you must be doing great. And we have I think I should introduce my guests in the hierarchy, and then I will move forward to the question and answer session. We have Mr. Amjad Abbas Mufti here. He's a research scholar. We have Ms. Fatma Iftihar. She's a motivational speaker and youth activist. She's a wonder woman. She's doing great in her domain. We have Mr. Saqib Riaz. He's Governor Punjab. He's also the member of Supreme Council Punjab. He's the person who made my ideas come into the practical reality. Thank you, Mr. Saqib, for joining us here. My co-host, Ms. Aisha Aruj. We have our one international guest from Bangladesh, Mr. Talibur Islam. He's MD Islam Rupam. He's a policy analyst and development practitioner. So let's move forward to the question answer official session. So my first question is very general, and I really crave to know that reason because I am a youngster. So I really want to know, Dr. Atikur Rahman. I will ask my first question, which is that in your opinion, like what is the important driving factor, like what is the important cause, the root cause or the common causes by which we are deprivating as a youth? हम लोग क्यों प्रोग्रेस नहीं कर रहे? ऐसे कौन से कॉमन फैक्टर्स हैं जिनकी वजह से हम लोग प्रोग्रेस नहीं कर पा रहे? Sir, you are mute, I guess.
Yeah. No, I'm unmuted and everybody can listen me. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. And I'm feeling really good that it's Saturday night and it's weekend, but I'm having my academic activity. That's very different. And I love to have you people on my Saturday night. Okay, fine. So coming back to your question you asked, don't need to be worried. We are the part of third world. And third world is facing a number of problems regarding your youth empowerment. So we need to not to be worried about this thing and know the actual question why we are not progressing. There are a number of factors. First of all, the social environment, then the political leadership, then the economic conditions. No doubt, while living in a third world countries, we cannot provide the numerous facilities in different fields to our youth, like the developed countries are providing, because they have the strong economies and they are powerful enough economically to uphold their youth. And on the other hand, the political will. The third world countries usually they do not have the political will to pay substantial attention toward their youth.
Right.
But thanks God, we got a new leadership, and that leadership is very visionary. And now we are at a stage where we are capable enough to invest our youth in all the required fields. And then socially, we are just living in a very difficult environment where we are. Everybody is aware about the surveillance capitalism thing. The surveillance capitalism, I was studying last week a book, and that's a new thing. We are becoming the victim of the developed world in the cyberspace. So in the form of increasing smartphone users, we are not in a position to understand the actual issues. The foreign propaganda, there are a number of sources which are emerging from the rival gatherings of our nation. They are misleading our nation. They are basically trying to just undermine the potential of our youth. So that's why the youth is facing the multiple challenges. But the only one factor that is very much a source of satisfaction for us, that is the political leadership. We got a new leadership that is a very visionary and very much in favor of youth. So I just answered your question in two ways. First of all, don't need to be worried. We are the part of the third world, and the third world country, they are facing such issues. And on the other hand, how we can overcome these issues, we are just arrived in a new phase of our political leadership, and we are having a golden opportunity now. So I think I have just replied your question in a decent manner.
Yes, sir, that's really good. Thank you for your time. But sir, as you said that we have changed the leadership. The leadership is good, but we haven't updated our youth policies. In 2020 as well, we have decreased our education budget and increased our defense budget. I don't know how it's going to contribute to youth empowerment.
Yeah, your question is very valid. You are so much legitimate at your position, but I must say the leadership is always having a greater plan which is having the number of factors which are lacking the attention of the leaders. So the present leadership is having a very greater plan in which they are supposed to pay the maximum attention toward our security issues, then after environment, then after development, then after youth empowerment. So they are having a very broader vision where they need to pay the attention toward every issue. And in that plan, and we should be very much thankful to our political leadership that at least they realize the potential of youth. At least
Yeah.
they realize the youth is demanding the attentions. So gradually in future, with the passage of time, definitely we will make this issue the central point of our national interest, and we will do that in future.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Thank you so much for answering the question. So let me move forward. Is there anyone else speaking, or I shall move forward to my next question? So, Mr. Talibar, my next question is to you. So yeah, what do you think the formation of narratives?
Let me
I
interrupt you. Let me interrupt you.
It's
If you
okay.
allow me, let me interrupt you. If you have any question, you are free to ask question, because I just have something with my family. I have some personal commitment with my family.
All right,
So
sir. All
if
right,
you
sir.
allow me, I will leave. And if you have any question regarding the views I presented, you are free to ask any question.
Sir, I asked you the question which I felt that I should ask it, and you replied it very well. And I totally agree with you on the fact that they are genuinely appreciating the fact that youth is very important in the government sector, in every sector actually. So yeah, thank you so much for giving us the time. I know
Thank
weekends
you
are
so much. Thank you
usually
so much.
very busy.
And accept my
Thank.
sincere apology, everyone. I'm really sorry. I'm
It's okay.
leaving.
It's okay, sir. So let me move forward to my next question, Mr. Talib. I was asking, what do you think the formation of narratives, constructive narrative, deconstructive narrative, contribute to youth capacity building? Like you are from Bangladesh, if I'm not wrong, वहाँ का narrative और होगा पाकिस्तान के narrative से. तो ये youth की capacity building में अपना role कैसे play करता है?
Well, actually, you mentioned about Pakistan. So, first of all, hello everyone. So, thank you for having me with you. So, I think first of all, like since we are South Asian countries, so lots of things are very similar between among us, whether it's like Bangladesh, Pakistan, or India, or even Nepal, because we are in the same region, and we have lots of cultural similarities. So according to like there are lots of narrative that our society produce, that those narratives are not available in in modern world, or like in countries like developed countries like Canada, Japan, or USA, or any other countries. So for example, since we are youth, so I guess here we can relate one thing very frequently. Like in our society, it's very common that when we just get born, we just tell that there is only two things to be in life, like one is doctor and one is engineer. So our mindset has been developed like that way from the childhood. So but
Mm.
you see, like in modern world, they prioritize every set of skills, every set of talents, because they know that no country cannot move forward with just having doctors or engineers. Like everything is uh, you know equally important. Like you talked about a policy in the beginning, so like if youth are not part of policy, then will the veteran politicians or the veteran lawmakers will not understand our problem, or like because why youth is important, because in this South Asia region, like if I consider Pakistan, India, in Indian subcontinent, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh, in three countries, the youth population is the most, like more than 50% population are youth. So like when in a country of, you know, like 100, in Bangladesh the population is 165 million, in Pakistan I guess it's like nearly 175 millions, people in India is like 1.3 billion. So here we become a, you know, continent ourselves. So here the 50% population are youth. So here if we don't change that kind of narrative, like, you know, if we are not open to the youth that okay, we are utilizing the talent of the youth, like whatever the talents are, like someone can be, you know, very good in you know, medical science, or someone can be very good in engineering, someone can be good, very good in policy making, because not everyone can be, you know, doctor or engineer. So we have this, you know, narratives in ourselves, in our society, and
Yeah.
we cannot live without our society. So we are bound to live within our society, and society is something like is more powerful than a country or than a government. So that's why it's important to, you know, change this change these attitudes towards the youth, towards the, you know, children. And I guess nowadays like everything is changing, because previously like in the millennials age, there are like the perception was different. Like now we are completely new generations, like, you know, and we are into 2020. So everything is getting changes, and you like governments, like I'm coming to the Pakistan part later. In Bangladesh, like governments are also, you know, investing on youth, like, you know, investing the on youth to participate in policy making or execute policy. And I believe that sometime earlier, like sir was saying that in Pakistan it was also like investing youth. But another thing, like you mentioned that, you know, investing on education, so that is also important. That here like that change is not also possible until and unless you are not investing enough on that sector. Like it's like educating, like, you know, going to university, going to college does not mean assure the quality education, or assure the, you know, removing the narrative that we are having. We have to have, you know, quality education, so that people get to realize that okay, this there are many options to do in the life, and we have to, you know, utilize ourselves in you know in nation building or anything else. So I guess this is like this kind of, you know, very common narrative, and narrative for from like both side. And this kind of narrative also, you know, makes obstacle to grow the country, to grow the youth, and to stop the participation of youths in national building. So yeah, I don't know how much time I'm getting to answer this question, but this is my kind of, you know, short answer.
No, sir. Thank you so much. You answered it so well. I love the fact that you have clearly mentioned कि यार doctor और engineers के अलावा बहुत fields हैं and you can, you know, grow in your fields. I really like that. I appreciate that. So thank you so much for the answer.
Yeah,
I
in a country, economy is very important. So it doesn't matter like how the, you know, citizen is contributing the economy. Like someone can contribute in the economies, in the, you know, in the community through being a doctor or being an engineer, but not like the world does not need everyone to be doctor. So
yeah.
like like there are lots of, you know, skill sets, so you have to learn those things. And developed countries are growing fast because they have all kinds of skill sets, they have all kinds of, you know, diversity. Because we say always that we believe in diversity, but when it's time about, you know, education or making policy, we are not actually investing on that. So we have to make it practically true that okay, we are investing on, you know, welcoming the diversity to make the nation, to make the society. So this is how actually we can utilize our youth.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else would like to contribute on the same question, or shall I move forward? Is it
I have a question.
sure?
So as you said, like we get it. But what do you think? What are the reasons behind it? How we can get rid from such kind of taboos and the other thing?
Well, first of all, we have to like there are you know, there are lots of, you know, stakeholder in this. So first one is like ourselves. So we have to we have to erase those narrative and constructive form from our mind. So we have to believe ourselves that we can do anything else, we can do very well, no matter what is that. If someone, like for me, I like to contribute in policy, I like to work in development sectors. So if someone feels like, okay, someone can be very good in advocacy and policy making, then he or she can join there. And it doesn't matter what society will say. Society is a big thing, like it's there for hundreds and hundreds and hundred years, so it's very difficult to change the society. So that's why, Jalaluddin Muhammad Rumi once said that, I was clever yesterday, so I wanted to change the world. Now I'm wise, so I'm trying to change myself. So this is what happened. And society, we have to aware through the through ourselves, through the youth, and also through the government. Because when something is made as law, everyone is bound to abide abide the law. So that's why we keep policymakers, so that they can give us the appropriate policy to to develop the nation. And when it is something law, like, many people might not follow that, but most of the people will be is bound to follow these rules, bound to follow that uh, you know uh, action. So that's why I guess government has a very important part, because for youth it's like we are on in our earliest stage in our life. So yeah, government has to invest, like, not only government has to prioritize the education and also youth participatory in nation building, whether whatever the like works they are offering. So I guess that's very important, like government part. So we can see the example of in New Zealand, because their prime minister is like very young. And that's why, like, in this few years the country is getting much better. They are already developed country, but in last few years, like, they are getting more and more better and in developed condition, because they have a young prime minister who knows the problems very well, and they are investing on youth. But for us, they don't have that kind of youth population, but we have, like, our 50% population are youth. And unfortunately, South Asia is the one of the region in the world where the unemployment of youth is very high. So, like, out of 100 youths, like, more than 40 youths are unemployed in these countries on average. In this probably like, in this region, India has the most unemployment rate in South Asia. Then is come Pakistan, then is Bangladesh. So we are in the same stage. So the unemployment of youth, because and companies are not recruiting youths, because youth does not have that set of skills. So instead of they take the youth of our own country, they take the youth of other countries, because they only understand their profit. So, like, whatever they can do, they need to have the profit. So if someone unskilled young people join their company, join their organization, if they don't give them enough efficiency, then they look for another options. Because since I work in multiple ways, so I heard a lot that these organizations are not getting the right persons, because those youth or those people has not you know enough skill that they need. Because our construct like our narratives is like going like that way, that we just have to focus only on either engineering or medical, like, so like this way. Even to some extent, like, in
I don't know, something happened to my internet connection. Yeah, उनके internet का कोई issue है.
hi, sorry, I guess
Yeah, hello.
my
It's
connection was
okay.
disconnected because of internet issue. So yeah, so because in from our childhood we are just always told to say that, okay, you have to if you are a bright student, then you have to study on science, then commerce, then than arts. So arts is the neglected background of any study program in South Asia. And on the other hand, even science, like they don't want research. Like in South Asia region, like the research rate is so low comparing to any other part of the world, because our governments, our institution, our society does not give enough priority or enough recognition to the research sector. So that's why, like, we don't have innovation. Like we are far behind than innovation comparing to other developed countries. So because we don't have the intellectual right, we don't have the we just use the things that they already made, and they are taking money from us. So that is actually obstacle. Like, so there are lots of things around it. So the only way to get rid of it, that we have to invest on youth. We have to make the best utilization of youth.
Yeah, thank you so much. You composed your answers so well. You told us all the factors which are related to the question. Thank you so much. A very
Exactly.
well
Yeah, thank you.
composed answer. So yeah, you're very right. Let me add to your answer that yeah, we really need to invest in education. Social media is playing a very important role in generating narrative. So it's very important that we have to keep a check that kya social media, we have plenty of misinformation, so we need to very balance in our social media using, and we need to keep things organized कि हम क्या post करें, उसका क्या consequences होंगे, क्या impact जाएगा. So yeah, we have the platform,
And
but
we
we
need
don't have.
actually media and information literacy for that, because
Yeah.
it's also very important to basic things to
Actually, media is playing a great role, but I think so the weakness or the problem is in youth, because हम उस चीज की तरफ जाते हैं जिसका कोई benefit नहीं है. Like where is something productive, so we don't want to go for it. Like we want fun and other kind of material rather than like go for something productive and like which can help us. So according to me, I can say that the only reason it is just like we are not we don't want to go for something productive.
Because we actually our society, our governments, our our system makes those things very like not attractive. So we usually tends to go something that is attractive, where people will be appreciate that, oh, someone is become doctor or engineer, wow, that's great. But we don't appreciate someone in researcher, or someone like in in kind of any other work. So that's why the problem. Hello. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you
Even
so.
Pakistan or Indian, like in our country, so doctors are not like there is no standard for nowadays. Like they are somewhere, but it's just because we are giving them importance. Even there are lots of thousand or other professions and other activities that we can earn in a like we can get earn properly and other things. But ये है कि डॉक्टर है इंजीनियर है तो he can earn or he can own a good family or good lifestyle, और other profession की तरफ हमारा खुद रुझान नहीं है, like we don't
Very
want to go
nice, Aisha. I totally agree with your point of view as well. बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो
for
आप. So हम इसी को कंटिन्यू करते हैं अपने नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन के साथ. वो भी आंसर करेंगे तो ये काफी सारे क्यूरीज जो हैं वो डील हो जाएंगे.
sure.
No, it's okay, it's okay. Fatma, my next question is to you. जैसे Mr. Talibar ने बोला कि youth है, potential है, forums नहीं है, because we don't have forums to express our opinions. So we are going through anxiety and depression. We are 64 of the population, and the majority and maximum population is going through anxiety and depression scenario. So definitely उससे हमारी efficiency affect हो रही है. So what do you think that how could overcome that thing? How to deal with that scenario?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, Ashia, and assalamu alaikum, Aisha. It's been an honor कि आपसे interact करने का मौका मिला. I have got to interact with you people. Secondly, this question, I have heard the previous speakers too. I have heard the guests, everybody's opinion too. Contributing to that and extending that answer, elaborating that answer, let me tell you people that their opportunities comes to you when you are determined in something. Whenever determination is with you and is in you, you inculcate your the determination and you keep focused towards your goal. Opportunities adds up to your journey automatically. You do not have to look for the opportunities, you do not have to look for the platforms, you do not have to crave for the platforms. Secondly, if I talk about youth, currently I am serving as the deputy speaker to National Youth Assembly Multan division, and I have seen this thing in specifically in the region of South Punjab in Pakistan, that people have lesser awareness. That is actual problem. The problem isn't the platforms, the problem isn't the forums, but the problem is that how aware are people about the education and the importance of education. There are roles that the youth is playing, there are many roles that youth is playing, uh, like for a female it's a stigma that the female is supposed to get married at a certain age and has to continue with the house chores, and she is not supposed to continue with her education. In the same way, a guy is given this idea that he has to be more wealthy than educated, and wealth can come from many other ways apart from education. It is not important that only education can bring you wealth. No, it isn't. Education itself is wealth, but education is not compulsory to, it's not necessarily bringing you a lot of money. So the guys are given this thinking कि जी, when you will get educated, or even if you do not get educated, you just have to have money. um, that can be through any source, through any source of earning, but you need to have good amount of money to raise a family. In the same way, girls are given that sort of thinking, that sort of idea, notion unki ye ho jate hain, they get derived towards that notion. So that is the actual problem, where they lose their determination and focus from the education. And while I talk about platforms now, since we are in the pandemic situation, we are sitting at home, so we are digitalizing, we are connecting from all around the world, we are connecting. So I don't think so that there is any hurdle or problem now that we cannot connect or we cannot access free literacy. There are many free courses on board, there are many free platforms on board, but it's just the will that takes you towards that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Fatma. I really appreciate that. You have, cleared my queries, and I guess audience के भी हो गई हैं. Tahreem, you have your question. Just keep it with you. Let me take my next guest. उसके बाद I'm definitely going to entertain your question. Just give me a bit. So our next guest, which I'm going to ask the question, is Amjad Abbas, Mufti Amjad Abbas. So what I was thinking is, the question to you is that कि आई आस्क माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन कि बहुत से ऐसे कॉमन फैक्टर्स हैं जिसकी वजह से हमारी यूथ जो है वो लैक कर रही है, उस तरह से प्रोग्रेस नहीं कर रही. आपसे मैं रिलीजियस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू लेना चाहूँगी. हमने इकोनॉमिक पर्सपेक्टिव ले लिया, हमने सोशल पर्सपेक्टिव ले लिया. अब रिलीजियस पर्सपेक्टिव में बताएं कि ऐसा क्यों है कि हम ग्रो नहीं कर रहे. एक दफ़ा इकबाल ने कहा था कि तुम, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर द एग्जैक्ट शेर, में पोइट्री में बहुत बुरी हूँ, वो मुअज़्ज़ज़ थे ज़माने में मुसलमान होकर और तुम ख्वार हुए तारिक कुरान होकर. हम देखते हैं कि एक तरफ ये है कि हमें अपने रिलीजियस वैल्यूज एंड नॉर्म्स का पता नहीं है, बट दूसरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है कि जो हमारी एक्सट्रीमिस्ट सोसाइटी है, जो बहुत ज्यादा एक्सट्रीमिज्म की तरफ जा रहे हैं, हमारे पास बैलेंस नहीं है. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक कि हम क्यों रिलीजियस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से हम क्यों लेक कर रहे हैं?
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. अस्सलामु अलैकुम. एक तो आपका बहुत शुक्रिया, इतने अच्छे प्रोग्राम में मुझे आप लोगों ने मदऊ किया, और ये एक्टिविटी बहुत अच्छी है, ये सिलसिला जारी रहना चाहिए. मैं आपको मुबारक पेश करता हूँ. अच्छा, जहाँ तक आपके सवाल की बात है, तो मैं यही कहना चाहूँगा कि ये जो सोसाइटी है, ये जो हमारा माशरा है, ख़ास कोई मजहबी लोग हों या गैर मजहबी हों, उनका ताल्लुक यहीं से है. तो समाज के अंदर जब आप कह लीजिए सवाल आता है, इन्हतात आता है, तो उसके सारे शोबे वो मुतासिर होते हैं. सेम कंडीशन यहाँ पे अभी मजहबी हवाले से भी है कि आप देखिए कि आज जैसे कि आपने बयान किया کتنی زبردست. میں تو کہتا ہوں اگر اسلام کے علاوہ بھی ہم بات کریں تو دنیا کے جو مذاہب ہیں انہوں نے کتنے اچھے انداز سے انسانیت کے احترام سکھایا ہے. تو پرابلم یہاں پہ یہ ہے کہ پاکستان ہو، انڈیا ہو، اچھا برما کو آپ دیکھ لیں، بنگلہ دیش کے علاقوں میں جو صورتحال ہے، روہنگیا کو دیکھ لیں. بدھزم میں کیسی تعلیمات تھیں کہ آپ نے کسی چیز کو تنگ نہیں کرنا، کسی چیز کو اذیت نہیں دینا. اسلام میں کتنی اچھی تعلیمات ہیں، لیکن ہمارا مذہب کا دائرہ کار کتنا سکڑ چکا ہے، کتنا سمٹ چکا ہے کہ ابھی میں خود، آپ نے دیکھا ہوگا میرے نام کے ساتھ لکھا ہوتا ہے مفتی، خود اس معاشرے کے اندر اتنی شدت پسندی بڑھ چکی ہے کہ ہمیں خود لوگوں سے ڈر لگ رہا ہوتا ہے. اب میں کبھی کبھار سوچتا ہوں کہ یہ عوام ہیں، جو یہ لوگ ہیں، یہ ہمارے نوجوان ہیں جو کسی کے کفر و اسلام کا فیصلہ کرتے ہیں، یہ تو ایسا معاملہ ہے جو اللہ تعالیٰ نے آخرت پہ چھوڑ دیا. یہاں ہمیں بات کرتے ہوئے احتیاط سے کام لینا پڑتا ہے. تو میرا یہ خیال ہے کہ جہاں باقی فیکٹرز آپ نے ذکر کیے ہیں، ہماری جو یوتھ ہے، ہمارے جو نوجوان ہیں، ہماری جو یہ نسل ہے، اس کی مثال ایک خام مال کی سی ہے. امام علی علیہ السلام نے نہج البلاغہ میں فرمایا ہے کہ نوجوان کا دل ایک خالی زمین کی طرح ہوتا ہے. مطلب یہ کہ آپ اس کی جس طرح تربیت کرتے ہیں وہی اس پہ اثرات ہوں گے. ہمارے ہاں یوتھ کو پروڈکٹیو انداز سے، اچھے انداز سے، تعلیم و تربیت کے لحاظ سے اس کی مناسب تعلیم و تربیت نہیں کی گئی. اب وہی گزرتے وقت کے ساتھ وہ عالم بھی بنتے ہیں، وہ دیگر شعبوں میں بھی آتے ہیں، اور جو انہیں ماحول ملتا ہے اسی کو اظہار کرتے ہیں. تو اگر کوئی سلسلہ بہتر ہو جاتا تعلیم و تربیت کا، ہم اپنے یوتھ کو، نوجوانوں کو مثبت ایکٹیویٹیز کی طرف متوجہ کر سکتے، اور جہاں سے انہیں تربیت کی جاتی ہے ان مقامات کو اگر ہم بہتر کر سکیں. آپ یہ دیکھیے مسجد و ممبر کو اگر ہم مناسب کر لیں، میں تو خود پریشان ہوتا ہوں، دوستوں سے کہتا ہوں کہ کبھی کسی سماجی ایشو پر مسجد و ممبر سے کبھی ہم نے کوئی بات ہی نہیں سنی. پاکستان میں کتنے مسائل ہیں، مثلا آپ دیکھیے جھوٹ بولنا، دنیا کے سب مذاہب کیا ممنوع ہے، میں نے اس پہ کبھی بات نہیں سنی آسانی سے. تو دے کے جو مذہبیات ہیں وہ چند مخصوص معاملات تک محدود ہو گئی ہیں، اس وجہ سے آئے روز شدت پسندی میں اضافہ ہو رہا ہے. اچھا اسی کو پسند کیا جاتا ہے. آپ دیکھیے عوامی سطح پہ پذیرائی کن لوگوں کی ہے؟ جو آگ لگاتے ہیں، جو ماحول کو خراب کرتے ہیں. تو میرا یہ خیال ہے کہ ہمارے ہاں کسی بھی حوالے سے نوجوانوں کے لیے سوچنے سمجھنے کے راستے مسدود کر دیے گئے ہیں. یہاں کوئی ایسی ایکٹیویٹیز نہیں ہے. میں کہنا چاہوں گا اس موقع پر کہ پاکستان میں شاید آپ کے علم میں ہو کہ بہت کم یونیورسٹیز ہیں جہاں فلسفے کا مضمون ہے. یعنی کسی لیول پہ آپ کے پاس سوچنے سمجھنے کچھ کرنے کی کوئی ایکٹیویٹی نہیں ہوتی. تو ایسی صورت میں یہی کنڈیشن ہوگی، فرسٹریشن ہے نوجوانوں کی، جو غلط تصورات انہیں سمجھائے جاتے ہیں، پھر چیک اینڈ بیلنس بھی نہیں ہے. آپ دیکھیے اس ملک میں کیا ہوتا ہے کہ نوجوان کسی کے ورگلانے پر ایک آدمی کا مذہبی حوالے سے قتل کر دیتے ہیں، بعد میں وہ مکر جاتا ہے کہنے والا، وہ ایک اور نسل تیار کرتا ہے، اور ادھر سے بات چل رہی ہوتی ہے، اس کو جڑ کو چھوڑ دیا جاتا ہے، شاخوں کو کاٹ دیتے ہیں. میرا یہ خیال ہے کہ ریاست کی اس حوالے سے زیادہ اہم ذمہ داری ہے کہ ہمیں مکمل جہاز سے دیکھنا ہوگا، تب ہی یہ ملک ترقی کر سکتا ہے اور نوجوانوں کو ایک صحیح ڈائریکشن مل سکتی ہے.
تھینک یو سو مچ. اینڈ آنیسٹلی لیٹ می شیئر مائی اوپینین. جب مجھے پتا چلا آپ ہمارے ساتھ گیسٹ اسپیکر ہیں، آئی واز ناٹ ایکسپیکٹنگ دس کائنڈ آف براڈ اینڈ اپ ٹو ڈیٹ آنسر. میں نے کہا یار یہ تو مفتی ہے، اب ان سے کیا سوال کروں. بٹ آنیسٹلی آئی اپریشیٹ، آپ نے بہت ہی لبرل اور
یہ ایسی بات
بڑا
نہیں
آپ
ہے.
نے fine sa answer diya. I was sharing my opinion. If anyone find it offensive, I apologize. But that was my opinion, what I felt, the first vibe. But your answer
Thank
was
you.
very up to date, very up to date. And thank you so much. So let me take
شکریہ.
let me take one question. We have Tareem over here. I guess she asked, to whom it may directed, you can tell me that, ہم کیسے فوکس رہ سکتے ہیں اور گرو کر سکتے ہیں جب 80% ہمارے جو کڈز ہیں، ہماری پاپولیشن 80% کڈز کی، انہیں پتہ ہی نہیں ہے کہ سکسیس ہے کیا. اینڈ آنیسٹلی ہمارے لیے سکسیس جو ہوتی ہے وہ جاب لینا، پیسہ کمانا ہوتا ہے. تو جب ہمیں سکسیس کی صحیح ڈیفینیشن پتہ ہی نہیں ہے تو ہم کیسے پروگریس کریں گے؟ Anyone would like to answer this question? The forum is open for everyone.
Yeah. Can I add up, Mashia?
Sure.
Thank you so very much for giving me this opportunity to answer Tareem's question. Well, Tareem asked, KG, how can we define success? So there are many, I guess, educational sessions that are being held over internet these days, since we are stuck in pandemic situation, and all we are doing is we are educating through internet, through virtual means. So when we are educating each other through virtual means, we are defining success to each other. This is success. This is success, that even in the pandemic situation, we are surviving. We are surviving to our best. We are still catering with getting and acquiring education. We are still catering with having degrees. We are still catering with learning. Acha, now let me tell you, yes, success is not just getting degrees, but degree is essential. When you are making your passion your degree, then automatically you have achieved your success, because that is the most essential thing to get. If you are passionate to get into the field of public speaking and communication, but you end up getting a degree in technology or computer sciences, that I do not define that as successful act or successful move. See, your passion is actual success of yours. If you are fulfilling that part of yours, even in any situation, no matter, irrespective of any barrier and irrespective of any hurdle, if you are following your passion, you are a successful person. Nobody in this world is successful or unsuccessful until and unless he or she is following his or her passion, his or her interest, his or her dreams, his or her vision. Thank you so very much.
मेरा ये क्वेश्चन था कि सक्सेस को डिफाइन करना नहीं, जैसे आप बात करें कि ऑनलाइन सेशंस वगैरह हैं, तो ये तो आइडियल सिचुएशन हो जाती है, लेकिन पाकिस्तान के बहुत से एरियाज तो ऐसे हैं, स्लम एरियाज, जहाँ पे इंटरनेट की फैसिलिटीज ही नहीं है। तो उन बच्चों को जाके आप कैसे बताओगे कि सक्सेस क्या है? क्योंकि उसके लिए तो इम्पोर्टेंट है 2 वक्त की रोटी, वो उसको जैसे भी मिल जाए, या फिर वो रेलवे ट्रैक पे समोसे बेच के कमा उसको 2 मिल जाए, या तो उसको रैपर्स उठा के मिल जाए, वो तो उस तरह ही करेगा। लेकिन जब आप सक्सेस की बात करते हो इस साइड पे आके, इन स्लम्स एरियाज में उन जाके काउंसलिंग की जाए, या उन लोग बच्चों को बताया जाए कि हाँ, खाली पढ़ाई के अलावा हमारे यहाँ पे तो रट्टाफिकेशन सिस्टम है ना, कि ये वाला आपने रट लिया, ये वाला रट लिया, तो आपको आगे जाके मैट्रिक हो जाएगा, फर्स्ट ईयर सेकंड ईयर हो जाएगी, फिर डिग्री मिल जाएगी, जॉब मिल जाएगी, दैट्स इट। बट एक ट्रू सक्सेस में उसमें रिलीजन भी आ जाता है, कल्चर भी आ जाता है, और आपकी एक पर्सनालिटी बिल्डिंग भी आ जाती है। वो हम अपने यूथ के अंदर कैसे डाल सकते हैं?
See, ये जो आपने अभी countering your question with an answer, Miss Tahreem, देखिए, अगर हम slums की बात करें, if you are specifically talking about slums and the areas जहाँ पे ये ideal situation नहीं है, which you are talking about as sessions, जो कि एक ideal situation है, I believe कि वाकई ही जिन लोगों को ये चीज़ मिल रही है, they are privileged. The people who are getting the internet access, who are able to listen to us, who are able to talk to us, who are able to gain counseling sessions, they are privileged. But if you talk about the people who are living in slums, who are striving for food, उनके लिए सक्सेस किस तरीके से वो डिफाइन करे, तो दैट इज सक्सेस। देखिए, एक बहुत ही सिवियर कंडीशन में आप हार्ड वर्क करके, चाहे वो हार्ड वर्क आप किसी भी फॉर्म में क्यों ना करे हो, बेशक इट्स इन द फॉर्म ऑफ मजदूरी, बेशक इट्स इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अदर मीन्स ऑफ वर्क, if you're working hard for yourself, if you know how to earn and eat in a halal way, in a positive, in a right way, in a lawful way, that is success. देखें, चोरी करके भी लोग खा रहे हैं, उन्हें भी सक्सेस का मतलब नहीं पता। बहुत से लोग हैं जो दे आर रॉबर्स, दे आर रॉबरिंग, वो ब्लैक मनी जमा कर रहे हैं, दे आर हैविंग illicit means of gaining money. What is success to them? They also don't know what is success. हम सिर्फ ये नहीं कह सकते कि स्लम्स वाले एरिया में रहने वाले लोगों को सक्सेस नहीं पता, यहाँ पे इवन के बहुत ज्यादा एजुकेटेड लोगों को भी सक्सेस का नहीं पता। if they do not know, even after getting all the education, all the learning, if they don't know कि जी how to earn money through lawful ways, how can you say that they are successful? They are not successful. They just have money, and money is not success.
ایکچولی فاطمہ آئی تھنک سو کہ ہماری سوسائٹی میں نا سکسیزفل کا جو ایک کرائٹیریا ہے نا وہ ہے ہی یہی کہ اف یو آر ہیونگ اے گڈ جاب گڈ لائک ہینڈسم سیلری پیکج آپ کا ہو، آپ کا گھر ہو، ایک کار ہو، مطلب دس از سکسیس بیسیکلی وٹ آئی آبزرو. لیکن ایکچولی ایسا نہیں ہے. ہمارے لیے ایون کہ اگر میں اپنی بھی بات کروں تو ہمارے لیے سکسیس ہے ہی یہی کہ وی آر ہیونگ اے گڈ ہاؤس اے گڈ لائف اسٹائل تو دین وی کین کال لائک وی آر سکسیسفل ان آور لائف. بٹ ایکچولی ایسا نہیں ہوتا.
آپ سے بس میرا ٹائم
Kindly everyone mute your mic, those who haven't muted. Well, you answered it very well, Aisha. Fatma, sorry, sorry, I just confused it. So very well answer. So Aisha, I would like you to do the next question to let's go to the conclusion. Aisha, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So
Okay,
yeah,
my next
move.
question is from Sir Saqib. Is he here?
Yes,
Sir Saqib.
I'm
Has
here.
to be.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Would you like to tell us that what do you think there is any fault in parenting style or like other than the societal factors like जो obstacles हैं या मतलब prevention है youth empowerment में? What do you think?
जी सबसे पहले तो मैं कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करूंगा जितने भी स्पीकर से जो आए जिन्होंने पार्टिसिपेट किया, जिन्होंने काफ़ी इंफॉर्मेटिव सेशन को कंडक्ट किया और अपना अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू रखा और बताया, और जितना भी यूथ यहाँ पर सुन रही है उनको अवेयर किया अबाउट डिफरेंट इश्यूज रिगार्डिंग यूथ. बाकी जहाँ तक सवाल आता है बुलिंग का या किसी चीज़ से रोकने का या यूथ को ये ना करने का कि ये ना करो, ऐसा ना करो, वैसा ना करो, उनका मोराल तोड़ने की कोशिश की जाती है, तो मेरा इसके लिए सबसे बेस्ट आंसर यही है कि आप लोग काम रहें, अपने आप को महदूद रखें और अपने जो आपके गोल्स हैं, अपनी जो स्टडी है उसके ऊपर फोकस करें. अगर आपको कोई किसी चीज से रोक रहा है तो आप अपने काम से उसको जवाब दें. अपनी जबान से जवाब देने की बजाय आप अगर उसको अपने काम से, अपने रवैये से या अपने वो सक्सेस से आप उसको आंसर देंगे तो दैट विल बी आंसर फॉर देम. जो और एक बड़ी चीज है जो उनकी बुलिंग है या फिर जो उनके जो ऑब्स्टिकल्स हैं उनको वो ही चीज उनको उस उनके खुद के अगेंस्ट आ जाएगी. एज लाइक यू आर डूइंग यू आर स्टडीइंग, आप किसी चीज पे रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, आप पे रिसर्च आर्टिकल लिख रहे हैं या आप कोई इनोवेशन करने जा रहे हैं, आप कुछ भी कर रहे हैं, आप साइंस के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आप आर्ट्स के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आप मैथमेटिक्स के हैं, अगर और मैं इधर वो सक्सेस वाली बात को भी काउंट करूंगा कि आप छोटा सा बिजनेस करना चाहते हैं, अगर कोई नौजवान है वो कोई रेडी भी लगाना चाहता है या वो छोटा सा बिजनेस अपना खोलना चाहता है या कुछ भी करना चाहता है, लोग उसको रोकने के लिए आते हैं कि ये ना करो, ये मुश्किल है, ऐसे ना करो, वैसे ना करो, या बहुत सारी इश्यूज जो हैं वो उसको बताते हैं और उसके उसके सामने एक ऑब्स्टिकल बन के आते हैं. लेकिन वो अगर मेहनत करे, अगर फोकस रहे, अगर अपने डिटर्मिनेशन के साथ लगा रहे और वो कामयाब हो जाता है, तो आई थिंक दैट इज द बेस्ट आंसर टू बुलिंग और टू दैट ऑब्स्टिकल्स. और यही चीज मैं कोट करूंगा कि यही उसकी सक्सेस है. सक्सेस इज नॉट लाइक आप किसी स्लम एरिया में जाके उसको वो बताएं कि हाँ जी आप स्टडी करें या आप जो कुछ करें आप ये करें. मैं खुद साउथ पंजाब से हूँ एंड आई लिव हियर फ्रॉम 6 years of my life I have spent in Islamabad and I know कि बहुत सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, बहुत सारे ऐसे मौके हैं जो उन एरियाज में वहाँ की यूथ को नहीं मिलते. और फिर ये हम यूथ की ही रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनती है कि हम अपने काम से, अपने सोर्सेज से जो हमें पता है हम जाके हम खुद इनिशिएट करके उन लोगों तक पहुंचाएं, उन लोगों तक वो बात पहुंचाएं, वहां की यूथ तक वो मैसेज पहुंचाएं कि हाँ आप ये कर सकते हो. एंड दैट इज योर सक्सेस एंड दैट इज द वे यू कैन डिनाई योर ऑब्स्टिकल.
Very uniform answer, Mr. Sakib. Thank you so much for your time. So, let me take answers from the questions from the audience. If we do have any questions, kindly write it down, or you can say directly, or else we will go to the conclusion, or we will conclude it. So, do we have any more questions? Everyone is saying it's well explained, very informative. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the audience. You are the one जिनकी वजह से हम लोग यहाँ हैं. Thank you for listening to our opinions. Thank you. मेरे personal बहुत सारे curious थे जो deal हुए, हमारी audience के questions deal हुए. Thank you everyone for your time. I will say कि thank you to our chairman, Mr. Kashif, our president, Mr. Kadir, जिनकी वजह से possible है, Mr. Saqib, जिन्होंने बहुत बहुत cooperate किया मेरे साथ, otherwise ये नहीं होता. So thank you हमारी guest Miss Fatma Iftikhar. Thank you, आप बहुत short notice पे हमारे साथ आपने join किया. Thank you Mr. Talibur Islam. I don't know whether the pronunciation is right or not, but thank you. Thank you Mr. Amjad Abbas. It was really nice to have an interactive session with all of you. And let me say thank you to our audience, and thank you to Mayani who is over listening over here. I was not in the right frame of mind to do that session, but she said कि नहीं करो तुम. You can do it. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. Thank you, my family.
Thank you so much.
My co-host Aisha, आपने भी बहुत support किया. Thank you everyone for your time. We will conclude it here. Allah Hafiz everyone. Have a good day. Stay safe. It's COVID-19, so be very responsible citizens and stay safe everyone. Bye bye.
Even I want to talk about, like, I want to discuss more and more things, but the time is really short, and I know the time is precious, so I don't want to take it more. Thank you so much. Inshallah, some other day we will be back with new topics.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Inshallah. Allah Hafiz.
Inshallah.